Hello, good evening. My name is Soumyadeep Sarkar and I'm an employee of ESHA IVF Fertility. I work here as an IVF Technologist. So, today I'm here to present the Facebook Live session and I will be presenting about semen analysis today. So, we must go ahead and know what you need to know about semen analysis and what not, and what you should be doing before going for a semen analysis. So for that, I will go ahead and show you some clips. So to understand semen analysis, what we need to know is first infertility. So what is infertility? To put it very simply, and as World Health Organization suggests, infertility is the failure to achieve clinical pregnancy after 12 months or more of regular unprotected sexual intercourse. This can be caused by several factors like medical, physical, and lifestyle. But the main factor that causes the inability is the deficiency in the semen or the semen quality. Ideally, a healthy man should exhibit a moderate sperm count and adequate motility through the semen in amount to promote a healthy chance of insemination. So let me discuss more about infertility, as infertility brings about psychological, economical, and medical implications to the couple, and it is estimated to affect about 8 to 12% of couples globally. In India only, about 22 to 33 million couples are estimated to be infertile. So, how to deal with this infertility? How to bring a solution, or how to understand that the infertility is from the side of the male or the female. So for the case of male, what we need to do is we have to go for semen analysis. In order to determine the underlying cause of a couple's inability to conceive, the doctor generally asks for a semen analysis to be done to check whether there is any infertility issue from the side of the male or not. So, to know about semen analysis, we have to understand what is a semen. Semen is a thick fluid that is released from a man's sexual organ when they ejaculate during sexual activity, and it carries the sperm out of a man's body so it can fertilize the egg and create an embryo. So this is how a sperm looks like. And the main function of the sperm is to fertilize the egg. However, when you will be giving a sample for semen analysis, you will have to give the sample to our lab. So once we at the lab get your semen sample, we will look under it in a microscope. This will provide us a wealth of information. I will get back to you about that. So this is a animation showing that sperm cells swim and fertilize to a female reproductive cell called an oocyte. So, what are sperm cells? Previously I have already informed the sperm cells are male reproductive cells that originate in the testicle and is carried out of a man's body by ejaculation during sexual intercourse. So, factors that determine the sperm quality. Okay, we will know about it. Like once a lab gets your sperm, like when you will be giving the sample to the lab, so there will be various aspects in the semen quality, which is mainly determined by the concentration. Like in one ejaculate, how many millions of sperms are produced. So we can determine it from 1 ml of the ejaculate that this is the number of sperms there. So the basic things that determines the semen analysis are the concentration, the motility, as well as the morphology. So concentration, just as I told, It is the number of sperms in 1 ml of volume of your total ejaculate. Next comes the concentration. After concentration comes the motility. So motility is determined as like progressive, non-progressive and immotile sperms. So progressive sperms, what are those? Progressive sperms are those which moves linearly in a straight manner. Those sperms are capable of fertilizing an egg because it moves in a linear way, in a straight way. Apart from that, there are non-progressive sperms. What are non-progressive sperms? Non-progressive sperms are those which moves in a, circular motion. They doesn't move in a straight manner. They move in a sideways. So those sperms are incapable of fertilizing an oocyte. Next, there are immotile sperms. Now, what are immotile sperms? Those are those sperms. Immotile sperms, as the name suggests, are the sperms which are not motile. So those sperms doesn't move at all. So in that case, it can be determined that only the progressive sperms has the higher possibility to fertilize an oocyte. Next comes the morphology. Morphology defines as the sperm's shape. How is the sperm? As you can see in this picture, the sperm has got a head. There is a mid-piece as well as there is a tail. So defect in any of the portion of the sperm determines that the sperm is morphologically abnormal, like the head shape, the mid-piece shape, or else the tail. Any defect in anywhere makes a sperm morphologically an abnormal sperm. So these are the definition of a single sperm. How can we go ahead and check an analysis? What we check in the semen analysis about a human sperm. So now we will go to what to do about semen analysis, like why we go ahead and do the semen analysis and what should be done before we go ahead with the semen analysis. So before we start a semen analysis, we should wash and dry the hands and the genitals before collecting the sample. Okay. Then comes the ejaculation part. To ejaculate, you will have to directly ejaculate into a sterile, clean and dry container provided by the clinic or the lab. We will be providing you with a container and you will be ejaculating into that. Now, while you will be collecting the sample, we will be providing you with a completely private room, and there you will have to collect the sample. So to collect the sample, the first part of ejaculation is very necessary because it is the most sperm rich one. Now, after collecting of the sample, keep the sample upright. That is, don't move the container, like don't take the container sideways or do anything like this. Just keep the container in a straight position and lid should be securely tightened so that there is no spillage of sperms. So this is for the collection that you can do it in our collection center. Now, if you are going for a home collection, then you will have to keep the semen sample close to the body or at a temperature around 35 to 37 degrees of centigrade, and then you will have to transport it to our lab. To gather the 35 to 37 degrees of centigrade of temperature, you will have to put the sample after collecting into your pocket or else in your shirt so that it remains in the body temperature. And if it remains in the body temperature, it will maintain an optimum temperature of 35 to 37 degrees centigrade. In case of home collection sample, you should deliver the sample within 30 minutes of time. Okay. Then after collecting of the sample, before submitting it to the lab, just check the label that your name is properly determined on the sample or not, as well as the date. Then after collecting of the sample, bring it to the lab. They will take over the sample. They will show you a place where to keep the sample, and from then on it will take some time for the semen analysis to be done. Before going for any semen analysis, always do inform the doctor if there is any kind of medication required or not. Next, this is what you should do before any semen analysis. Now, what you shouldn't do for a semen analysis is that you should have an abstinence of about 2 to 3 days before semen analysis. So, avoid all sexual activity like ejaculation, masturbation, and sex for at least 2 to 3 days before the test. However, sexual activity should not be avoided more than a week. That is, you can have an abstinence for about 5 to 7 days, not more than that. So the time frame within which you should go for a semen analysis should be 2 to 3 days to maximum of 5 to 7 days. So if you are smoking, if you are drinking alcohol, you should quit it for the time. You should be quitting it for a long time because it actually affects your sperm. But if you are going to go for a semen analysis, then you should stop drinking or any kind of recreational drugs. If you are having, you should stop it before 7 to 10 days. Otherwise, those will affect your semen analysis report. Do not use any lubricant while you are going for semen analysis because some of the lubricant has got toxic effect on sperms. Okay, not even your saliva. Hand sanitizer. Now in the condition of corona, everybody is quite well accustomed with hand sanitizer and it is being very frequently used. But for hand sanitizer, you must know that hand sanitizer you cannot use before or after semen analysis. While you are collecting the sample, don't use hand sanitizer. Wash your hand properly with soap, dry your hand properly. Don't use sanitizers because alcohol has very detrimental effect on the sperms. It is toxic for the sperms and it will kill the sperms. Do not ejaculate any condom or anything. If you are going to go for if you have a collection problem or something, if you want to have an intercourse before semen collection, you should collect the condom from the lab itself. The lab will provide with the specific type of condoms which doesn't affect the sperms. And finally, the semen sample should not be exposed to any extreme temperature so that will affect the sperms. Extreme temperature, it will make the sperms immotile. It will kill the sperms. So these are the do's and don'ts you should do before any semen analysis. So this is my presentation for today. And after that, I will show you, this is the page where the semen analysis report comes in this manner. You will be able to find it. This is our lab's semen analysis report. You will get it after the semen analysis is done. So this is here. I am with the today's presentation, and I thank you for participating. Now, if you have any more questions, please go ahead and ask me about it. Yes, I can see I have got a question here. That is there anything I can do myself to help improve my sperm quality? Yes, definitely. There are some things you should do. That is, there are many ways by which you can improve your sperm quality, including you should change your lifestyle factors in order to improve your sperm quality. First off, you should avoid heat. As said in previously I was telling that you should avoid heating of the sample or anything. Rise in temperature in the scrotum can cause sperm abnormalities. So in order to avoid heat, you should stay away from hot tubs, saunas, tight fitting clothes you should try to avoid. And also the most important thing, if you are a rider and you are riding for a long time, that affects the sample a lot, because while bike riding, the scrotum gets exposed to heat a lot. So in that case, you should be wearing light clothes, clothes that are not tight, not that much tight fitted, to go for to have a better semen analysis. Better semen. Next, to improve the semen quality, what you should do is that you should quit cigarette smoking. If you are a smoker and occasional or regular alcohol drinker, you should stop that, because all of those have very toxic effects on sperms, as well as exposure to chemicals or any kind of radiation radiation, like in the sense, if you are having working for a longer time with your laptop, keeping it in your lab, then laptop emits radiation as well as it emits heat. So that will have a very negative effect on your semen, on your sperms itself. And apart from that, excessive amount of alcohol should be avoided. Like for medicinal aspects, if you want, you can have daily vitamins are very important for the semen. So like zinc, vitamin B12, folic acid, vitamin C, L-carnitine, all of these should be consumed along with a good balanced diet. So any other question? Okay, I've got a question. So it is about how I have difficulty in semen collection. So if you're having difficulty in semen collection, then we have number of ways to do that. Like for example, we can allow you with your partner for your collection of sample. Okay, so if you're having difficulty in semen collection, the first thing you should do, you should meet up with any healthcare specialist. You can go meet with any urologist as well, that to determine that is there any problem, is there any collection problem in your sample with your semen. So if you're going for semen analysis, that what we can do is that we will go ahead and suggest you with some medicines as well. Those medicines are completely harmless. They won't be affecting your sexual activities or anything. The medicines, what will do, it will provide you with excitement and it will help you collect the sample properly. And that's it. So if you're having collection problems, first of all, meet with your doctor, and then if the doctor suggests you with any medicines, go for it with those medicines. Any other questions? So I have got another question. So I have 1 month of gap. Can I do a semen analysis? If you have 1 month of gap of abstinence and if you want to go for semen analysis, then I'm afraid that the semen analysis report won't be proper, because just as I was explaining before, that the semen analysis report the abstinence has to be between 2 to 3 days to maximum of 5 to 7 days. So if you are having 1 month of abstinence, then there will be a lot of immotile sperms in your sample. Just the way I was telling about the immotile sperms, like the sperms will be highly inactive because of the longer time of abstinence they were there. So the semen analysis report won't be accurate. So what you can do is that you can discharge the sample, go ahead and talk to any healthcare specialist. There they will provide you with the proper time and date for you to come and give your sample for semen analysis. Okay, so another question I've got from it says, I live in Hyderabad, can I bring my sample from? Absolutely, but you have to make sure the distance. If the distance is too long, if it is taking more than 30 minutes for you to come to our center for your semen analysis sample after you collect it from home, then it will be a huge problem, because longer term, we can allow at least 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, you will have to reach here. So the distance will be matter. If you are living nearby, then it's fine. You can collect your sample from home, but before that, you will have to collect the container from our center, and then you can go ahead and take the semen analysis done. The container has to be taken from our center. So any other questions am I getting? Okay, so that's it for today's live session. I am really glad that I have been given with this opportunity to present today. For the next live session, please stay tuned. We will come up with more interesting topics for you to understand regarding fertility and everything else. We will definitely help you out. Okay, have a good day.